Last night, the Indiana Fever fall to the Atlanta Dream. What is going on? Panic button set in Indiana because the Fever are now 1-1. Hey, good morning, everyone. It is Brett Rump with the Sports Rush. This is a morning after edition, and we've got to talk about the Indiana Fever and what happened last night down at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, where the Fever fall on their home floor with that massive crowd. Not a sellout. That's noteworthy. It was not a sellout, but over 16,000 fans witnessed the Fever falling 91-90 to the Atlanta Dream. And during the offseason, the Indiana Fever went out and got players like DeWanna Bonner, Natasha Howard, Sophie Cunningham, and of course she didn't play last night. But picked up players that they thought were going to provide some depth for the core unit. And the core unit looked like the core unit last night, and the role players that are brought in to support and add layers of talent did absolutely nothing. It was all about the big three with Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Kelsey Mitchell dominating the game. In fact, when you look at the numbers, 27 for Clark, 24 apiece for Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston. No one else had more than 6. And DeWanna Bonner got just one shot and was 0 for 1 for 0 points. Now, I know she's supposed to be out there for the defensive purposes, and she was used as a defensive substitution, but in the game, she was a minus 19 in just 16 minutes of play. Not a good night for DeWanna Bonner. Sophie Cunningham still out with that ankle injury, and the Fever fall. It was a big night for Caitlin Clark, 27 points, 11 rebounds. It ties her for the most games of 25 and 10 in WNBA history, and she's done it in about 10% of the number of games. It's unreal, the numbers that she continues to put up. And last night, the Fever needed buckets because it was a game. I wanted to use an example of taking a balloon, blowing it up, and then letting the air out, then blowing it up a little bit more, and then letting the air out, blowing it up even bigger, letting the air out, because that's basically what happened throughout the game last night. Atlanta jumped out, raced out to a quick 13-6 lead, and then the Fever closed the gap. And then Atlanta opened up an 11-point lead, and the Fever got within 2. And then Atlanta opened up a 13-point lead, and the Fever got down to within 5. And then Atlanta opened up a bigger lead. I mean, it just kept going where Atlanta would pull away and the Fever would climb back. Now, that uses a ton of energy. And as a result, I think that and the Dream defense, they limited the amount of fast break transition points, and that's huge for the Fever. They had to earn the points in the half court. And Aaliyah Boston, to her credit, because I said she has to step up and play like a number 1 overall pick. She's got to play like she wants to be recognized as the second best player on this team. And she had another solid night, 9 of 13 from the floor, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists for Aaliyah Boston with 24 points. But she was big. Kelsey Mitchell hit some big shots. And of course, Caitlin Clark delivered when the Fever needed their comebacks. Many of them were keyed by Caitlin Clark 3-pointers. But ultimately, it's a loss. And it's a bad loss because the Fever fought their way back into this and actually took a late lead, had every opportunity to win this basketball game, and ended up 0 for 2 at the line for Natasha Howard, ended up 0 for 4 at the line in the game, but missed 2 down the stretch. And Aaliyah Boston went to the line with 20-some seconds left and made just 1 of 2. And that left the door open because that broke what was an 89-89 tie, gave the Fever a 90-89 lead, but it left Atlanta with an opportunity and the Dream score. And then what happened on the last play? I mean, I really want to understand this, and there's no way you're going to get me to understand this. 9 seconds left, Fever inbounding the ball just inside the half court on the sideline. This is a play that you have to go. Well, number one, you could go to Aaliyah Boston if you want to try to force it down low. You could try to get it to Aaliyah Boston. Number two, Kelsey Mitchell drive to the basket, but the player you expect to have the ball in their hands on a final possession has to be Caitlin Clark. Force Atlanta to have to adjust to her defensively. They're probably not playing her one-on-one. You've got 9 seconds to work with. Get the ball to Caitlin. Let her go to work. See if they double her. If they double her, somebody's going to be open. Instead, they inbound the ball right to the hoop, lob it down to the hoop. And Natasha Howard gets a great opportunity down by the basket, has the shot blocked, gets it back, and misses a fadeaway baseline jumper from about 12 feet, and the game's over. So Natasha Howard, who in the game was at that point 3 of 7, she missed those 2 shots, had all of 6 points, and was 0 for 4 at the free throw line. So I'd go ahead and try to block the shot too, because she doesn't, I have no fear of her going to the free throw line. Doesn't scare me going to the charity stripe. So they go up, they block the shot, and another chance, which might have been even a better look from the baseline, misses. But the Fever take 2 shots in the first 4 seconds of the possession when they had 9 seconds to work with. What was that for a final possession? Surely they've worked on this in camp on what they want to execute for final plays. You can't tell me that that was the play that they wanted out of that situation. A lob to the rim to Natasha Howard? That just doesn't make sense to me. I'm like, get the ball into Caitlin's hands, force the defense to make a decision on whether they double Caitlin or whether they trust one-on-one. Because with her step back, with her ability to drive, the new teardrop that she's added to her repertoire, I'd trust Caitlin Clark with the ball. In fact, I feel like Caitlin Clark has to have the ball in those final 9 seconds. And she didn't have it. She inbounded it, but she didn't have the ball. And so the Fever go down. Now they've got a chance to bounce right back against the same Atlanta Dream Team down in Atlanta tomorrow night. And we'll see. I expect the Fever to win tomorrow night by double digits. I know it's a road game, but they've had a couple of tough battles with Atlanta, one in the preseason where they pulled it out late, one last night at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. And if there's pride in that locker room, they're going to come out and win comfortably. All right, we've got to wrap this up. Tin Caps lost last night 5-1, just not enough offense. Some guys have to start stringing some hits together. Just 3 hits over 5 innings. Game ended up being called because of rain. And the Tin Caps with plenty of opportunities. They were being handed this one on a platter with walks and hit by pitches, even an error in the field. And they had base runners, bases loaded twice, men on first and third, another inning. And through those 3 innings, with the bases loaded, and first and third, they ended the inning and stranded 8 on base through the first 3 innings. That basically took them out of any chance of winning this game, because then Cedar Rapids strung something together and ended up winning at 5-1. But they're back at it tonight. And Clark Candiotti, son of former Major League pitcher Tom Candiotti, will take the hill for the Tin Caps, 6:35, weather permitting, as it still looks a little iffy with the rain. But then the Tin Caps finish the week Thursday, Friday at 7:05. They've got a 6:35 start on both Saturday and Sunday, with lots of fireworks coming up. All right, we'll wrap it up, and we'll be back. Hope you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you give us likes, comment if you have anything you want to add to this video, and make sure you share it with your friends. That's very important. Give it a share. Have a great Wednesday, hump day, and we'll talk to you again soon.